While the jurors deliberate, the crowd outside the trial of Karen Read continues to grow and get a bit antsy. Many expected the verdict to be reached already. Some people we've spoken to have cashed in on vacation time and personal days just to make sure that they are able to be there to support Read from outside of the courthouse. Thanks for joining us. I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Colton Bradford. All right, everyone, let's bring in NBC10 commentator and courtroom insider Sue O'Connell. Sue, still no verdict, right? I've been watching this, sitting at my desk. I have the comment section up because I'm so fascinated by what people are sounding off on in the comments there, like everyone else. And it seems like the Read supporters outside court, they're getting worried now, and even the people online. What's the vibe here? What are you seeing there from the folks who are outside of that courthouse?
Yeah, Colton, it's definitely a more somber, even kind of the air went out of the balloon, if you will, a little bit today as people start to sort of settle in and think this might be more than a just jury goes to the room and comes back with a verdict. Listen, people don't pay attention, even though we love true crime and we watch crime shows. On Law and Order, right, they have the crime, they arrest the person, and by the end of the episode, they have the verdict. And that's just not how real life works, right? So people came in with a certain expectation. They also came in with their bias that either Karen Read is guilty or not guilty. So they think it should be as clear to the jurors as it was to them. So I've been walking around talking to folks. I keep joking that I'm going to send them an invoice after I talk with them to explain how long this might take. And, you know, with a case that's so unique like this, we really have nothing to compare it to. So I think trying to read the tea leaves here and get worried or get excited, depending on what you're rooting for here, is really just a waste of time. I've just been telling people to sit tight, and the verdict will come when the verdict comes, Colton and Priscilla.
Sue, this trial really has torn the town of Canton almost apart. People either defend one side or the other. Is there any reason to think that the jurors are cleanly divided, just as this town appears to be?
Well, we're living in a world right now, Priscilla, where we are all very divided and very amplified in our opinions, right? I mean, I think that there's always been a time when Americans have had differing opinions about things. Here in Massachusetts, same-sex marriage, people were very for it or very against it, but social media didn't amplify it in the same way. And the jurors actually should be a representation of our society. However, these jurors, remember, were vetted and asked questions by both the defense and the prosecution and the judge to try and make sure that they are open-minded. So you don't need to have a side. You just have to be fair-minded and open-minded. So we'll see. Hopefully some of them will talk to us after they come to a verdict, and we'll find out what their process was.
Yeah, I think we're all curious about that, too. It's so interesting because you touched on this, Sue, but this trial certainly has opened sort of a window into our divisiveness as a community, certainly, but as a country as well, now that it's starting to pick up steam everywhere else. But no matter what the verdict is, obviously, we're going to be hearing about this case for a long time. You know, documentaries and longer form reports are already in the works. What is it about this case that has generated so much interest? What is it about it that makes it the perfect storm to people to want to tune in at the length and to pay attention to the details at which they have?
Well, Colton, I think what's interesting about this, certainly you had, you know, the amplification of it on social media and the involvement of Turtle Boy. You have someone who doesn't look, if we're going to go by stereotypes, someone who would be likely to commit a murder. You have a Boston police officer, John O'Keefe, tragically killed and left to die on a lawn. And so you have these people who are also good-looking people. I mean, let's be honest about it. They were a picture-perfect couple that people testified under oath. One man said that his wife wanted him to be more like John O'Keefe when they were out in public. So you have that appeal to it. And I talked to a number of people who know a lot more than I do about how some of the mistakes that police investigations generally happen, they never make it to the light of day because someone who is charged might plead out the case. So therefore they don't go to trial and they take maybe a lesser charge or less punishment. In this case, any flaw the police made has been brought to the forefront, and people are surprised by that. And also you have people, I've talked to I can't even tell you how many people, women who are wearing pink, supporting Karen Read, who would classify themselves as people who supported police, who supported the blue line, and now they're questioning that. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many aspects of this case that are fascinating to people. Colton and Priscilla?
Wow.
Our Sue O'Connell there live for us in front of the courthouse in Dedham. Sue, as always, thank you.
All right, so jurors headed home for today. They'll be back tomorrow morning. We're going to have much more on the Karen Read trial coming up on Canton Confidential. It begins at 7 p.m. right here on NBC10 Boston. You can also listen to it as a podcast.